Hi, good morning. Good morning, everyone. I would love to see your faces this bright morning. Wishing all of you a very happy Thursday. It's good to see everyone here. We did a session last week, which was very powerful. It was a very powerful meditation on celebrating the Shakti within and invoking the Shakti within. Today, we're back to our personalized downloads session because we always have multiple people that want the personalized downloads and we end up missing out on a few here or there. So, the aim is to give these sessions at least once, every alternate week so that there's an opportunity for everyone to have their issues out there and to have the downloads that they require for the same. So please, anyone that would like the downloads, that would want to share things, can raise your hand. Yes. Neha, let's just add you also here. Where are you?
Hi, good morning.
1 second.
Are you able
Hi,
to
good
hear
morning.
me?
Can we have your camera on, please?
It's kind of dark where I am at. That's the
That's
issue.
okay. I have this like reflection also, but we're just like making the best of it. Okay, it is really dark. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So tell us, Neha.
So what issue I'm facing at the moment is that I'm having like a lot of anger and grudge uh that I'm holding in my space when things don't go my way. And it's not like bigger things, it's like minor nitpicking sort of behavior. And I realized that's taking up a lot of my mind space and peaceful space, and not letting me connect with a better version of myself to elevate from the situation that I am in. And I want to do that so I can go to a better place with my workspace and self growth kind of space. So I'm just in this tussle almost to the point that it's literally like playing as a narrative in my head even before I hit the bed, and that's just keeping me up for hours in my mind. And I'm usually someone who goes off to sleep in 5 minutes
But
after
is
getting to
this
bed.
something that's very new for you, like responding to anger with anger at like small things even?
Yeah, because it's happened after a person's come in my space since the last 2 3 months,
Mhm.
and suddenly I've become like this. I mean, otherwise it's something I can think of during the day and let it go, but to
So
the
what do you
extent
think is
right now.
causing that? So if it's that person, what about them do you believe is causing this sort of shift in your behavior?
So I feel like the person does trigger a lot of things. It does make me reflect on a lot of things. So in a way, I just believe that they're holding up the mirror for me to work on a lot of things. I do understand that perspective, but
Mhm.
I just feel like I'm so aggravated. Like I'm waiting for next morning to sit and like completely like blow it off on the other person and shout it out and get it out of my system.
And
But I
after
just realized,
you do that, how do you feel?
sorry.
After you do that, that this big blowout that you've been wanting to have all night, you've been thinking about it in the morning.
It's a relief then
Yeah.
next morning. But that's not making the situation between us any better. And it's the smallest of things, like an opinion can be put forward, and approach can be put forward. I'll be like, no, not this approach, that, and it'll be like, oh, you criticize my approach, and be like, everything's not about you, and then it triggers and it goes from
And
there.
what makes you keep this person that brings up so many toxic traits within you?
For
What
me
is
to
it that
realize that
makes them
that
actually
person
appeal?
is bringing up all of these things, and they are things for me to work on.
And are you
uh,
working on them?
Sometimes I'm just, so that's the thing. Like I said, I want to elevate being in a better place. And I know they're triggering. Some days I just sit peacefully and I do work on it. I think about it, at least. I can get myself to collect myself and think about it. But most days I'm just waiting to like go back and give it off to the other person. And that's not usually me. But I've kept
Are
this
you
person in
making
my space.
all the things that are being reflected upon you, and where you feel like, okay, these are things, this person's a mirror and I need to change X, Y, Z about me. Are you taking steps towards those changes?
Yes, I have at least started journaling. See, because to be very honest, the nitpicking, the aggression, the need to get back is very uh, very strong. Like it's playing very heavily in my space.
What happens if that doesn't happen? What happens if you don't get to retaliate?
Then it's in my space and it's playing till I get it out.
And the only way, do you know any other way to get it out?
No, I just feel like the other person's got to see my perspective and they have to see it and they have to understand it.
They, after you do this whole thing, after that, do you feel like they respect that perspective or understand that perspective or even are listening?
Yeah, yeah. The listening happens, the intent to understand happens, which is why I'm going back to it and wanting to express it.
And how about if you express it in a calmer fashion? Do you think that would work?
I am not usually a calm person by nature. Either if I'm happy, I'm like very overexcited, happy to go lucky bubbly kind of person. Or it's almost like the extremes. You know, if I'm angry, I'm like really pissed off and it's a loud voice and not letting the other person interrupt me and just like blowing it off completely. So there's no middle space sort of thing.
Or would you like a middle space?
Yes, I really think I would like a middle space.
Because it's a lot
Espe-
of high energy, guys. You understand, anytime we are operating out of one end or the other for anything, okay? Here she's talking about her reaction to a certain situation, her behavior. Now, that may or may not be applicable to every person that is there. But anytime that you are responding to anything in an extreme, and this happens in so many forms and manners. Anger is maybe one of those examples that are there. Anger, aggression. And remember, you guys, aggression is not always active aggression. Like she's mentioning it, where, it's through a loud voice or, saying it that way. A lot of times we also get into very passive aggressive behaviors. What is passive aggression? That person may not say anything at all, but that passive aggressive behavior, complete silence, a silent treatment, or someone is asking you, can you make this for me, do this for me, do this for me, doing 10 things, asking you to do everything of this. And anywhere at a conscious or subconscious level, and that person decides, let it not be like the best. You love your cook's food, you cook this, cook that. Now that person gives you only the first day, only the food is not tasting very good. Third day again the food is a little off, you'll be like, better I will cook, better not to tell him to cook. What if, to that passive manner, instead of telling you straight to the face and listen, I can't do everything, I'm not going to cook also for you. Now this used to happen, we had a house that generally we have a cook and everything, and when the cook wouldn't be there, he would be asked to cook. Generally he's very proud of his cooking, right? Like he'll cook if he's cooked something, anything in the kitchen, he, like, you just know it because he will ask you 10 times after that, खाना कैसा था, खाना कैसा था, अच्छा था, अच्छा था. Like he'll come and keep checking how it is, right? And he has a passion for cooking, he has a passion for learning also. Because if I would be making my quinoa, making something different, I didn't ask him to look at what I'm making, but he would keenly observe what is happening because he'd want to learn and pick up. He enjoyed cooking. He'd make great tasting food. He knew, like, if I just went to the kitchen and told him, make this to my taste, he knew what to alter to make it something that I would actually like. Now, just so happened, when the cook isn't there, he would cook because of the two helpers, he was better at cooking. But just so happened when that happened for a longer period of time, suddenly that person who cooked something really well just started messing up with the food. And you're like, what is happening? One day is a mistake, second day is a mistake, third day. Somewhere they know that when now I'm not going to make good food, only they're not going to ask me to do it. Sometimes we take on passive aggressive behaviors that affect our life or affect the other person's life. Sometimes we even end up inflicting harm upon ourselves in the process. Everyone says, if you lose weight, you look so good, you look so good, you look so good. Now, I know I will look so good. But why are they all coming and telling me this? I don't like them, constantly commenting. And I don't want to give them the gratification that this, what you're saying is correct. So it's okay, I'll stay 5 kilos overweight, but I am not going to give them that gratification. अरे तुम सुबह में उठ जाओ ना, your life will change. अभी आज मुझे सुबह मैं ऐसे भी उठ जाती हूँ, बट अगर मैं उठ गई उनके सामने देवे से, सी देखा कितना अच्छा है, आई तो ऑलवेज यूज्ड टू टेल यू, बट बिकॉज आई डोंट वांट टू गिव देम दैट ग्रेटिफिकेशन, इट्स ओके, मैं नहीं करूंगी, क्यों करूंगी? Passive aggression, which we're using upon ourselves. So one is aggression. The other thing is anytime anything is at two ends of a scale. The opposite, I'm going to tell you. I will do everything for this person. Opposite. Forget wanting myself hurt. I'm going to be on the opposite end of it. Whatever they say, I'll do. Whatever it is, I want them to like me. I want this. I want that. So you'll see a person giving, 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 giving. Then and every second conversation is resentful, right? पूरा दिन मैं ही बैठ के काम करूं. It's okay, but nobody listens to me only. But I'm only always doing everything. No, I ask them to do, but nobody wants to do anything. Only nobody takes responsibility in the house. Then what? I'll leave the house like that. Either way, so they will go and complete service mode. Do service where your heart is truly aligned to it. Communicate or speak or express your opinion where you are truly aligned to it. Now, this point actually applies for you, Neha, as well, right? So, whenever you're going to be communicating, and if my true objective is to get my point heard, to get my point across, they should know what I am thinking. Because what I am thinking is of value. Please know that anytime anger comes out of fear. Anger comes only and only out of fear. If the need to have my voice heard, if I do not elevate the pitch of my voice, they are never going to give it the time or the space. And that is okay in this situation. But what if that happens for longer and my voice, I only forget what I have to say? I've seen women who, have completely suppressed themselves. I am not one of those women. So I need to express it loudly. डिफेंस भी वो वॉइस के साथ आता है. whenever you're completely sure about something, guys, think about it. It's something you need to think about, internalize it. Anytime you're completely sure about something, completely convinced about something, when I am in doubt, when I am in fear, when I have my defenses that need to go up for some reason, the volume will go up, everything will modulate. But when I am in balance, when it is something I truly believe, most times people challenge us. Like she said, he brings out those sides of me which I know need work. He becomes a mirror which just kind of, brings up this part. It brings up that defense because she knows that somewhere. Even when someone comes and gives you advice, when I know it somewhere in my heart already. Now, when they say no, then that is the reason it brings up any level of thought in me. Yeah, so I start thinking about it too much, or I feel angry, or I feel defensive, or I tell them off. That only happens when there's a mirror reflection to it somewhere. But if there's anything where you are completely sure, completely integrated, completely with that, you will realize it always comes out also in complete balance. Someone comes and says, hey, हाँ, she's a man. She knows she's a woman. जोर जोर से बोलने की जरूरत नहीं, because I know I'm a woman. I'll say, listen, go get your eyes checked, There is no need for me to shout out my opinion because I know. I don't need to convince you. I'm like, there's that saying that when the hearts are far apart, when we feel like when we're having a fight with someone, our hearts are so far apart that even though we're standing right next to each other, we feel like the other person can't understand me, the other person can't hear me, which is why there is a need to shout so that they can hear me. And when there is an understanding, when there is love between two people, when there is that, then even without saying anything at all, you know that they understand you. So anytime there is an imbalance either in our own feelings and emotions or in the dynamic that is there, and somewhere there is a little bit of fear, a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of need to defend ourselves or defend our opinion, that is when that automatic elevation pitch happens. Like I was saying with the example, that person who's doing everything. And then one day they go and break down and they're just fed up and tired of it. Again, it's two extremes. या तो सब करना है, नहीं तो कुछ करना ही नहीं है मुझे. Middle ground is important. Middle ground is balance always. You put two ends of a scale, that's fine. Middle is a point of balance. For that balance to happen, we need that balance first within ourselves, first within our own thoughts, emotions, and actions. There is one week where we're done, entire week on our thoughts, emotions, and actions aligning, about understanding ourselves, accepting ourselves. I greatly propose that to anyone who at this point might be struggling with that at any point, because we all have that at times, where that this is something I want to, but thought, emotion, and action doesn't match. The minute there is an imbalance between these three, any one of them are not like, I'm thinking something but saying something else. I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I want to get fit, this is, but then I'm going and eating a cake piece. It has to be balanced. If my thought, emotion, action, no matter what it is, however positive or negative, if it is in alignment, it will not create imbalance with it. When it is misaligned is when there is a problem. You think of someone doing something horrific and you're like, how are they doing? But their thought, emotion, action might be in alignment. That is what they want to do. That anger is what they do feel. Their action reflects that. They have all the strength and power to do it. When my thought, emotion, and action is imbalanced, automatically I find myself running to one side of the scale or the other. So it starts with balance within ourselves, connection within ourselves, conviction to be able to make those changes. Why do we have people coming and challenging us or being these mirrors and bringing up this side of ourselves? Nobody who gets angry ever likes to get angry. Again, sometimes you start getting angry very often when you're tired, extremely tired. That again is coming because my energy levels are not matching to that. My thought might be that I want to play with my child. My emotion might be that affection towards my child, but also wanting that time for myself. Now they go and spill that milk because I am in that imbalanced state. My thought and emotion is also not matching. My action will be to shout at them. Then I'll feel bad after that. But that action will be to shout at them. You don't understand, what are you doing? Because वो energy level जो चाहिए ये thought, emotion, action balance करने के लिए वो नहीं है. So match up your energy levels or get real with where you're at so you can match your thought, emotion, and action. All right. So let's do some downloads for balance. Of course, Neha, at that point, releasing that guilt, taking action, all of those will become very, very important, because it's only when we're resisting that change, that spiritual growth that you're talking about, any of those things, when I'm resisting it at any point, consciously or subconsciously, for whatever reasons that might be, that is the time I need someone to come and challenge me.
Okay.
Otherwise, because with that challenge, I'm growing.
Okay.
Someone tells you every day to your face something that hits somewhere, and I grow. Think about whether I can grow without challenges motivating me, without somebody coming in and challenging me, challenging my being, challenging my capabilities, challenging my intelligence, whatever it might be. If I find a way to grow without challenges needed to motivate me, then automatically I stop inviting people that will give me that much resistance.
Okay.
When I can beat that resistance and be strong enough, then it's clear, it's not serving its purpose anymore. So take those little actions that are there and find that balance within yourself. So automatically, after that, that you are so convinced, you see a person, those people that are just living their lives the way they want to. They've decided the kind of life they want to live, the principles they want, the boundaries they want, and they're living their lives happily by it. They will never generally get angry, aggravated for something. In fact, you will be shouting there and all, and they'll just be listening.
Yeah, and this person is that way, exactly.
The biggest weapon is staying calm. biggest weapon.
Okay.
Because when I'm calm, I have all the power. The minute when I'm angry, what happens? I myself am not in my control. I
Hmm.
myself can't control the amount that I wanted to say. I know कि ये बोलने से कुछ नहीं होगा, फायदा तो definitely नहीं होगा. If anything, things will go downhill. But
Hmm.
at that point, I can't control myself. I just have to get that out there. And in that moment, I lose all my power. Any bargaining chip, anything. You might have the best intentions, the best mind, the best everything. Get a person with superb intentions, superb resources, everything, but have them shouting at you all the time. You'll be like, even if you're giving me the world, I just can't. They lose all their power in that. A person where you automatically feel like they कुछ तो तभी इतना जोर जोर से बोलना पड़ता है. When a person is calm, they're like, this is how it is. I've seen that when they're just calm, you're shouting and you're like, you don't understand. Da, 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 da. And they're like, are you done now? Now can I go? This person is sitting there wondering, did they even take in what I said? Maybe they did. They always reflect upon it. They do that. But because they were calm, they didn't give away their hand. In aggression, you will always give away your hand, you give away all your power. And it comes because anyway you're feeling a lack of power. If I felt like, my opinion is important, they're going to come and ask for my, I'm never going to feel like, no, I need to tell them that. I'm not going to stew my mind all night thinking about how will I give it back. Be like, okay, this is what I think. So this is what I think. You can do what you like. You will always stay in power at that point. So also connecting to your power. Let's do the downloads. Would you like to know that I know and understand the creator of all that is his definition and perspective of balance? I know what it feels like, how to, when to, that it is safe and possible for me to be in balance across all aspects of my life. I choose to be in balance. I know what it feels like to have my hormones balanced, to have myself balanced in all aspects and areas of my life, to know that it is safe and possible for me to be balanced in my thoughts, actions, and behaviors, to be balanced in my work life balance, to be balanced in every aspect and area of my life, to know that this balance comes harmoniously and effortlessly to me, that I choose balance, that I know that while being balanced as well, that I can be in my true power, that I know what it feels like, how to, when to, and that it is safe and possible for me to embrace my true power, to know that it is safe to be with my true power and to live my life with my true power, to know that it is safe for me to be powerful, understanding true power and being powerful as per the creator of all that is his definition and perspective from the seventh plane, that I am aligned to my true power and I know what it feels like to be able to grow forward in life emotionally, mentally, spiritually, to physically make the changes required for the same and to grow forward in life, knowing that change is the only constant, happily making the changes that help my life and help me grow positively ahead in my life, that I allow these changes to happen effortlessly and beautifully, that I embrace these changes and embrace the ever changing nature of life. I embrace also the change within myself and know that any change is possible, that just the way that my behavior might have changed in an instant to something that is not truly reflective of me, my behavior can change back to a manner of peace, calm, and that I know that it is possible for me to be in a balanced state of mind, to release the need to be at either extreme and to find my power with balance and with connection within myself, that I know what it feels like, how to, when to, and that it is safe and possible for me to be wholly and completely connected to myself, connected to who I am, connected to all I am. And in this connection, in this balance within myself, comes peace. And I know what it feels like to be at peace with myself, to be at peace with my being, to be at peace with my journey, to be at peace with who I am and what I think, to understand that I know what I have to say is important and I know that I feel convinced of the same. And as I feel convinced of the same, I know the balance also when to listen to others and when to have others listen to me. That I feel like it is safe and possible for me to convey this as well. in peace, in balance, in joy, and in connection to who I truly am, in connection to my true power and my true element, shining in my divine element now and always. Would you like these downloads into every cell, atom, molecule of your body, every area of your life, at all four levels of your belief systems, and in any and every language ever known or understood by you, for your highest and best and in your highest and best manner? Say yes to receive the downloads. So another two things that come to mind when I am doing these downloads are this, right? One is that sometimes you all saw that we also in the downloads included some downloads for true power and accepting our true power. So a lot of times what happens is that when we're at either extreme, right? To give an example, like, I have this project, I have this deadline, but and I can work on it, but somehow I will leave it to the last minute to do it. And then I'll do it. I'll do a fabulous job at it. How many people leave something at the last minute? They don't know why, but they just keep procrastinating and then they will still do a great job. Sometimes we procrastinate or, we feel like I'll do it later, because that is when our true power comes out. Suddenly, when you're pushed against a corner, you will do work that nobody, you'll be like, I did this in 2 hours, but see how good it was. I made this, sabji in like 10 minutes. I just got a call saying, they're coming up and I made it. But it'll be incredible. They allow their true power to shine only when they're at a certain extreme. I will allow my true power, or like your words might be very, very powerful in what they have to convey. But I know how to do it only when I'm at an extreme. I don't know how to be balanced and embrace my power. So that in itself is one big thing. Embracing our power, being balanced. We feeling like you don't have to be extremely passionate or loud to be good at something. I could be very calm, very balanced, and be very powerful. Look at any of your, spiritual leaders that we're looking at. When you are in balance and in power at the same time, you don't even need the words to convey what you want to really express to another person, because what happens is your whole aura, your whole personality is that, because your thoughts, words, and actions, your thoughts, emotions, actions are all in alignment. What happens now is I don't need to use loud words to express those thoughts, because my actions already reflect that. When I say that this is not okay, my actions, if they already convey that, then anytime your thoughts, emotions, actions are in balance, that always derives inspiration. Whether a person aligns to your thoughts or not. So you look at a BK Shivani living her life, or someone else, and you may not do that. Right? It might not be for you to live a life like that. But their actions will inspire. It's incredible what they are doing. Doesn't mean I need to do it. Sometimes you feel inspired to do it yourself. But it's inspiration. You see someone, living their life the way they want, free thoughts, this, that, however. But when a person operates with conviction, you'll always look at them and go like, it's incredible. Huh? They're never scared. They're never thinking about what will anyone else think. They are living their life to the best. It may not be what I want to do, but I can see that because thoughts, emotions, actions are one level. They don't need to come and tell me that set your boundaries, do this, do that. I can see that. It becomes your entire energy when you are truly in conviction of something. All right. So please allow those to balance. I hope you got your answer, Neha. And a couple of things. I think apply these things, see how you're doing, and then if there's any resistance, then what might be important might be to clear the backlog In that case, you can look at doing a session clearing the backlog. But if it's only very, very fresh and something you've started, then just understanding this and doing the shifts should also help.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Sarika.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
What I'm struggling with is fear and hopelessness. So the background is my eldest sister, she passed away. It has been 8 months now. But before she was sick for some time. Before she was sick, I used to stay away. I was not living here in Pune, but I used to get up in the night with like someone um, is trying to strangulate me or some kind of pressure is there, and I kind of got some intuition that something is not well, and I thought that time that because my parents were older, that it might be they are not well. So I always try to tell them that you check yourself if everything is all right. And when my sister she fell sick and when she passed away, I realized that this was more intuition towards her. That's something. And now I'm scared by my intuitions or whatever, and I'm feeling fear for one particular person in my life,
Okay.
for my niece.
Hmm.
And now every day I'm not able to sleep. I get up with the same feeling, or even I am doing sometimes I'm doing Zumba or I'm working. I stop doing it suddenly before I realize or before someone else sees what is happening. I'm just paralyzed, and I'm going into that. I'm sucked into that thought that something is happening to her, and I'm not able to do anything. I'm not able to. I just stand there paralyzed, and the other people were looking at me and was, what has happened? And I try to pivot that thought, think something positive, but it doesn't work because there is so much fear inside.
I'll tell you what to do. So, one thing that happens, one thing I want to share with all of you, okay? All of you are not here by coincidence. You didn't just land up here. Doesn't happen. There is absolutely zero coincidence in the universe. It's just a very beautifully orchestrated play that is so beautiful that sometimes, having directed it ourselves, we forget that you know when you watch a movie and that one person is walking by that one time and they'll drop something and that adds to the scene. They're a bystander. वो side characters होते हैं ना movies में. They'll play their role and they'll go, and it's very, very small. It feels insignificant, but it is required for that moment. We also sometimes are just playing those little roles, etc., that are there. Now, if you are here, it's because you have something within you that aligns to that intuition, aligns to that spirituality, that each of you maybe need to hear this today. So, one thing that I want to remind all of you is that your intuition is your best friend, is your GPS to direct you through life, to your purpose, to helping someone, to helping yourself, to living your life the way you should be, to stop you from making wrong choices for every single thing. And while I say that, I'm also aware that it may not always feel like that. It may not always feel like that. For example, with the example that Sarika told us, sometimes we feel like, is it stopping me from everything because I'm getting this message before anyone else is, and I have no idea what to do about it. She's not the first person to face that. There are many, many people to face that. She's facing it at a relatively older age. Kids, for example, super intuitive. They just know. They just know. And a lot of kids know all these things. I know a client who came in and he was in his 40s and he had felt something like this when he was much younger, in his teens or even younger, I think. And he just felt this, and his, that something was going to happen. Something was going to happen to his elder brother, and he could never say it because if he said it, everyone said, "Why are you saying such negative things?" And then his elder brother passed away. And he got so scared of his intuition that he shut it off for good. Consciously or subconsciously, like, chahiye hi nahi, if I, like, what do I do with this noise? But understand that it wasn't given to you to scare you. It was given to you to help you, to guide you. Why could you not use this guidance? Because you don't have the knowledge to back it up. We always say, get educated with that. You see a signboard and it tells you where to go, right? If you go to a mall or if you go to a shop and you want to buy something and you see on every aisle there's a sign. Here there is, vegetables, here there is jams, here there is wafers, here there is drinks. When I see all these signs, if I am educated, they are of big help to me. Because I don't waste my time, I know where to go and I'll go. Right? But if I'm uneducated, it is just all confusing chatter to me. ये सब साइंस का मैं क्या करूं, इधर जाओ कि उधर जाओ, समझ नहीं आ रहा. Similarly, this is your call, Sarika. You are spiritual, you are intuitive. Back it up with a knowledge of healing so that you can use this very intuition to actually prevent that situation. Intuition is a sign that we can prevent it. No, if I know this is my intuition, and if I have the tools to deal with it, if I have the tools to avoid it, I can. This same intuition will become my biggest gift. We have seen cases where we've got this premonition about someone getting ill, about this happening, about that happening. Now, because we have the knowledge of what to do with that, we have the tools to be able to reverse. You can change that, or you can effectively warn them, or you can have some transformation with it. You will get intuition only about people who are near and dear to you, because you have the capacity to affect their lives.
Sometimes, I get about something also about this, I mean, it's totally irrelevant to us, Israel and Hamas, what happened.
So
but
then
few days before that,
thing.
I had some kind of very, very ugly dream. And 2 days after, when I read the news, I was like, okay.
But then that is actually a sign for something bigger. It's a sign to show that, like, that means you're at an advanced level of, your intuition being quite heightened. So use it, back it up with the knowledge. When you will have the knowledge, you will be able to make the best out of a situation as opposed to the worst. It's your choice. No, it's your choice whether to keep your eyes closed and go like, I have intuition, but I'm going to allow it to paralyze me, as opposed to doing anything about it. That is a choice you are making. The minute you will educate yourself, you will have resources to be able to understand what to do about it. At the very least, you might not be able to stop the war.
Yeah.
However, you will be able to get yourself at peace with it.
Yeah.
So at peace with it, how you're getting this intuition, you will be able to do a B round and, at least get that emotion out. Anything affects me when I start, like, you see, a lot of people are very, very affected by the cruelty. Of course, it's something affecting all of us. The cruelty happening with the kids there and the kids dying. But there's some people who are having sleepless nights, cannot sleep because of constant worry of what if this would happen to my kid. That stems from a deeper place always. All of us are reading the news. All of us feel sad. All of us are affected. Some are affected more because they're feeling some resonance, some fear, some old thing, emotions popping up. Hear a music track. Some people will just hear it for what it is. Some people will feel a deep sense of emotion to it or connection to it because of their resonance to it. So when I have the tools of B, of theta, of everything, I know what to do with it. I am no longer paralyzed by it. I am fueled by my intuition, by that GPS. I know what to do. Each of you has an intuition, and that is always a navigating guide. So often, at times, like a person is blind in love and all, they've got these sudden intuitive thoughts. I've had people come in with, they're like, I was in this, suddenly, I don't know why. But on the second date, I just started crying. And, he was asking me what happened, what happened. I just feel like I'm going to be alone in this. And he was like, what is wrong with you? We're sitting here together, we're doing this together. And you're saying, I'm going to be alone in this marriage, I'm going to be alone in this. We're not even married. What is wrong with you? And then check in, of course, I also felt like I don't know what I'm doing, why I'm behaving like this. And, it kind of went on. And I kept getting these signs. And I didn't know what it was. And today, when I'm in that situation, I realized it was my intuition warning me. And it was my intuition warning me so loudly that I didn't just get the thought, I could feel it. Imagine feeling that while I'm sitting with that person. Of course, in my courtship, everything was beautiful. They had to give me all the time, all the attention, everything. But today I understand that was not, some random, that was my intuition. And I got it so many times. But at that point, I really didn't want to look there. And there's reasons why we don't look there. Either we don't know what to do with it, or it is that we have these, blocks or insecurities that keep us from looking there. What will happen if? Would you rather have not had this intuition about your sister at all, because it would have still happened? Your intuition is not causing a bad situation to happen. Your intuition is warning you that this bad situation is going to happen. So people shut off their intuition thinking, "Arey, itna kharab thoughts aa raha hai, I don't want to live with this." But look at it as, had I known what to do with my intuition, could I have helped alter this situation in any manner? Maybe not then, but today, if I'm having that intuition, do I still have the power to alter it in any manner? Isn't it about time I learned the language of my intuition? It is there. You will ask it to stop, it will stop. No problem. But उससे खराब चीजें बंद नहीं होने वाली.
But sometimes, I don't understand between intuition and fear. So sometimes I have made such decisions. Now I feel they might have been wrong, or people around me tell me I've been wrong. But like for my marriage, so I didn't marry at I'm at an old age. I didn't marry because every time for the person, my intuition used to tell me that no, he's not the right person. It's not going to work out, and I kept saying no. And now I'm at a stage where I don't know whether it was my intuition, whether it was my fear, whether it was right decision or not. So
this
the
intuition and
whole
fear
life is
dichotomy,
jumble gumble.
I'll tell you. This intuition and fear dichotomy which comes,
Yeah.
it again comes for two reasons. One is lack of knowledge. I have not heard my intuition only enough times to know what it sounds like. Abhi, if you have two kids in the house, okay, or you live with your parents or whatever it is, right? Now
Yeah.
I've heard their voice enough कि agar I'm in the next house also and if one kid is crying or if someone calls me, I know which one is calling me, right? If someone calls you, you know whether your mother called you or your father called you.
Yeah.
Or even if they have a sister, even if they sound very similar, you know who called you. Even if two people sound very, very similar. Now, if I talk on the phone, my mom talks on the phone, my sister talks on the phone, a lot of people get confused. On the phone, they say we sound very similar. Our voice is very similar. But anyone who's familiarized enough with us doesn't need a second also to tell who is on the phone. You don't need a second also. Why? I've heard their voice enough that I can make a distinction. I know whose voice is which. You have the twins, the mother knows who is which, even if they're identical. She might get confused in the starting 2 months. Third month on, she knows exactly who is which. You've spent enough time with it to know. You've not spent enough time with your intuition to know what it sounds like. And you don't want to spend enough time with your fear because, again, you don't have the tools to deal with that fear, right? Why is that healing important? I have the tools to enhance my intuition and deal with my fear. When you will, and this is something very common because there's an actual whole class dedicated to that. Because we talk about the creator hearing the creator's voice. But we tell people, you are not, many people don't know the difference between the creator's voice, their own intuition, their own mind playing a game, their fear, the other person's fear. You're doing a reading, you don't know whether their fear is talking, their hope is talking, or it's the intuition that's guiding you. So that whole thing is geared around understanding what the different voices are. But I need to spend enough time with my intuition to know what it sounds like. Okay. And so one is that you don't know what it sounds like, so you cannot make that distinction. I completely understand. And second, where does my fear and intuition, start messing with? My fear should be about what I'm scared about. Intuition should be more about something that propels. One should take me backward, one should take me forward. Correct?
Correct.
Confusion kab ho raha hai? When there are certain insecurities we might have. When there are certain pre-existing fears, notions, etc., mostly insecurities. When we don't feel secure about ourselves for whatever reason. And it happens to all of us. So I don't want you to, feel like, oh, it's only you that it's happening to. It happens to all of us. When we feel those and we never take the time to deal with it because it's scary. To look at my fear in the face is very scary.
It is.
So we go like, you know what? Kuch nahi hai. Kuch nahi hai. To understand that, to look at it in the face and to know what to do about it. When this insecurity is the base ही जब भी वो है, so everything stemming out of it feels like dichotomy. देखना है कि नहीं? And which is why people end up making bad decisions or anything at all. Again, goes back to, please, I'm like, I'll see if I can, have the playlist sent to you all, or go on YouTube and look at the playlists that are there. You'll see that playlist. Do this week, because again, thoughts, emotions, actions balance में नहीं है, इसीलिए वो insecurity है, वो fear है, सब है. And what's important is looking back and going like, अरे ये हो गया is never going to give you anything. Because fortunately or unfortunately, we don't have a time machine. We cannot go back in time. We cannot change what happened. But we can change what is going to happen. That holds true at any day, age, and time. Maybe you're at a better space to heal yourself completely, to heal those insecurities, to face and release those fears, and to connect to your intuition. And when that happens, you invite a partner, if you so choose to, who is so complete. I know people over here who got married at like 45, 48, whatever age. And they're extremely happy because they were at a place that they were sure. When you are not sure, when your insecurity is what is attracting that person, you could be 20 or you could be 60. You'd still, marry someone who also brings out that.
Yeah.
But when you have healed yourself and you are sure and you are loving yourself and you are understanding what a gift you have with the intuition that you do, you invite and attract a partner who values and sees that you value yourself. The other person automatically can see value. If I don't see value in what I have, anyone who walks in cannot. Because I treat it like trash. So just educate yourself. Please take the time. Make the time. Because your excuses is insecurities, going like, kya zarurat hai? Arey, too much money. Arey, too much time. And I see our students who come in with conviction, right? They know. They'll tell me, Richa, see, please, if we can do the class on weekend. But I have all these crazy students who will come in and be like, no, I will definitely do the class no matter what the time. If this is possible, I would appreciate it. But class so I'm doing. Some of our students, you'll see those students, they'll be on their terrace for 7-8 hours that we're doing the class. They're walking up and down on their terrace doing their class because they feel like it's difficult to do at home. But they've decided class so I'm doing. In that 5-minute break, they're going and getting their kids ready and doing everything. They're doing class at 3 in the morning and 5 in the morning, and they're doing it whether it's raining or this or that. Standing in a terrace and doing a class for 7-8 hours is no simple feat. 3-week classes they've done. This I'm doing. It's not even a question. I have some people who, and then later I get to know that they put all their savings. I'm like, you should have told me, I would have given you an EMI. Then I knew I wanted to do this. You don't worry. Money will come, and it comes also. Because in their mind, their thoughts, emotions, actions are aligned. Someone comes and tells me, I want to do a class. And we have a lot of people who spend a lot of time telling us they want to do it and never show up. Which is okay. They're facing their own inner demons. The only thing I ask, when they tell me, I tell them, if you have any concern, you share with me. Tell me, Richa, timing ka ye hai, ya fir my kids ka things are there, or my money thing is there. The only one thing I ask them is, you surely want to do it? 100%. And when they're truly convinced and they say, I really want to do it, I'm like, then you set that intention out. I will see what I can do, but you set that intention out and everything will work out. And believe it or not, 100 out of 100 times, everything else works out. Suddenly the money comes, suddenly the help comes, suddenly everything comes. Because their thought, emotion, and action is balanced. That's the time I tell them, don't stay in the thought of should I not, will I not. Get into a sure thought if you really want to do it. Get your emotional, and then automatically that action will align up seamlessly. All right. So let's see what downloads as well come. Would you like to know the creator of all that is definition and perspective of intuition and inner guidance? That I know what it feels like, how to, when to, that it is safe and possible for me to connect to my intuition, for me to connect to my inner guidance, to know what my intuition is guiding me towards, to have the discernment, understanding the term discernment as per the creator of all that is his definition and perspective, to have the discernment between my intuition and fears and hopes, that I know and understand what my intuition is, understand that intuition is my reward, my gift, that I allow myself to be able to value that gift and to be able to utilize it in the best manner possible, that I know what it feels like, how to, when to, and that it is safe and possible for me to take action towards my intuitions and towards allowing my intuitions to be guiding factors for me. I know what it feels like to have that guidance ahead in my life, to be guided by my intuition, by my thoughts, by all that I am, to know what it feels like, how to enter, that it is safe and possible for me to invest in myself, to know that I am important, that I allow myself to connect to who I truly am and know and understand the creator of all that is his definition and perspective of self-worth, that I know what it feels like, how to, when to, and that it is safe and possible for me to know that I am important, that I am worthy. And that as I understand that I am important, that I am worthy, I allow myself to invest in my own growth, in the growth of my soul, in the growth of my own mental, physical space, that I allow myself to grow and glow ahead in life, releasing any feeling of being stagnant, knowing what it feels like to step out of my comfort zone and to make my comfort zone bigger, stepping into my real power, allowing myself to know that it is safe and possible for me to expand my comfort zone and to grow out of my comfort zone, to grow, knowing and understanding growth as per the creator of all that is his definition and perspective, and understanding how beautiful it is to grow ahead in life, to understand that our soul is here on a journey of growth and on a journey of evolution, that I release any resistance I've had towards growth and evolution and allow myself to reach that space of growth and evolution in a balanced, happy, and joyous manner now. That I allow this for myself now, that I know that I deserve to grow, I'm allowed to grow, I'm allowed to evolve. I know what it feels like to invest in my own growth and in my own journey, to know what it feels like to to understand alignment as per the creator of all that is his definition and perspective, and to know what it feels like, how to, when to, and to know that it is safe and possible for me to align in my thoughts, emotions, and actions, that I choose to be aligned in these. And as I allow myself alignment, I know what it feels like to build my energy and aura around this alignment, that I am aligned and I choose to stay aligned. And I know it is safe and possible for me to live my daily life being aligned in my thoughts, emotions, and actions, that I have the courage to do the same, that I have the support, the love to do the same, and that I allow myself to fuel myself enough to be able to do so seamlessly and joyously. Would you like these downloads into every cell, atom, molecule of your body, every area of your life, at all four levels of your belief system, in any and every language ever known or understood by you, for your highest and best, and in your highest and best manner? Simply say yes to receive these downloads. Passing lots of healing and unconditional love to everyone who's hearing these downloads. All right. Okay. So begin your journey with spending that time for your own growth, with your for your own alignment, even though the issues sound like opposite ends, right? Today we had two people share. Thank you guys for sharing. You all have allowed beautiful downloads for everyone here, right? And they're two opposite ends. One was a thing about anger and how anger was aggravating, and the other was an absolute opposite end of fear and helplessness, but both coming to the same common point of alignment within the self and empowering ourselves with the tools that are required. When that happens, when we allow that growth to happen, automatically everything around, everything else that is there becomes a lot more seamless. All right. Okay. That's all for today. As for the rest of you, just letting you all know, we're going to also be having a free masterclass on our past lives real. Sangeeta Shah is going to be doing it. She's trained directly under Dr. Brian Weiss. She's going to be explaining past lives, what they are, helping you all resolve any doubts that are around past lives. How can it happen? Can I see a past life? Is it possible for me? All of those fears that we commonly have, all of those are going to be eliminated through that. I'll just give you all the details of the exact time, because it's going to be streamed from the US, which is why we've sent out the message, but there are two different time zones that are mentioned on it. 1 second. So it is going to be happening on October 27th. So that is tomorrow. It'll be happening from 7 in the morning to 8:30, 7 to 8:30 in the morning. There'll be a guided meditation that's going to be there, some understanding. You can ask any questions you have, get those resolved as well. Anyone that you know in the US as well that is there that might be interested, y'all can tell the details, because I will send the forward on the group as well. There's a Pacific time that it's happening in the evening, 26th evening for US time, 27th morning for Indian time. She's going to be conducting a BN past life class there as well. That's an only in-person class, so it'll be great for them to get to know her. So anyone that wants to attend it, we'll put that, and we'll put the WhatsApp group link so that your reminder comes there for before the seminar happens. Your group link is there in the group description. All of that is there. So I will have both of those things sent to the group. Anyone that wants to attend and just understand what past lives are, how they affect us, and there's going to be a guided meditation for the same, please feel free to attend it, or tell anyone else that would be interested in attending it as well. All right. As for the rest of you, have a beautiful week. Have an amazing week ahead. Take care and see you soon.